Welcome, everybody. We're thrilled you're here. I'm Michelle Betterkind, President and CEO of your Wisconsin Broadcasters Association, and I hope the sun is shining wherever you are. As you can see, it's shining here in Madison today. So first and foremost, a few housekeeping items. We would ask that you stay muted throughout the presentation, and then we'll take your questions at the end of the presentation. So please feel free to use the Q&A feature. Submit your questions at any time you want. Derron Steenbergen is one of the most highly rated sales trainers in our industry, and he's no stranger to Wisconsin's broadcasters. Just within this past year, you've seen him at our Rising Above virtual conferences. However, today's event, Strike While the Iron's Hot, Go Get the Order Now, will provide a unique and most timely message. We're also thrilled to announce that you'll have the opportunity to see Derron in person. Can you believe it? At our upcoming WBA Summer Conference, August 25th and 26th at Blue Harbor Resort in Sheboygan. Derron will be doing a different session each day, and he may even be doing those sessions out on the beach. So make sure to join us. So now, without further ado, please help me welcome Derron.
Hey, Michelle, thank you so much. You're one of my favorites, and it's always great to be with you all. And so should we jump in, Michelle? You ready?
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
Go for it.
I'm going to share my screen and jump in here really quickly and get this rolling. And there we go. Okay. So thank you, Michelle. Honestly, Michelle's the best, and you all have great leadership. Kyle has been wonderful through this process. We've thrown this together pretty quickly. This is a topic that honestly, it's probably as important as anything our industry and our sales force has really dealt with for a long, long time. I guess I would even say this. Whether it's your third day or you're in your third decade or more in our industry, I truly believe that this is an opportunity that we will not see come around again. You hear generational money sometimes. I think this is a generational opportunity. And if you handle it the right way, it can impact you not only with your commission check and the revenue you bring into your stations, but I'll tell you, it will help you with your credibility with your clients. At the end of the day, my job for you is to kind of help rise you up out of the ashes. That's all the salespeople out there, and we know there's a bunch. Now, here's the other thing you got to know. We got a really, really good crowd with us today. But when you think about all the salespeople across your great state, the majority of your competition, they're not here. And what I'm going to share with you today, they're not aware of. So let's jump in, and let me start with this. I think we can all agree the last year has been a mess. It's been tough. It's been any description you could give it that I probably shouldn't say in front of all you all. It is accurate. But all signs currently now point towards a recovery. Your state, it sounds like, has done a very good job with vaccination distribution. I'm standing in Southern Kentucky, and honestly, we're doing a good job as well. We talked to you in Rising Above. We call it F2B, forward to better. I really think that we're close to that point. Those better days ahead that we've been talking about, I think we're close to seeing them now. But I want to share this with you to start out. If you think back on the past year, as tough as it's been, your track record has been 100% surviving your bad days. Let me say that one more time before we move on. Your track record for surviving your bad days has been 100%. So as tough as it's been, as tough as it has been, and if there's difficult days ahead, you need to know this. You've got this. And as we move forward, I'm going to share you and equip you with some information that honestly is going to put you out there with a chance to really be successful. Start here. I'm going to reference several times how will you answer today's webinar, our time together. And how you answer is going to be critical to whether or not you have the success with this over the coming days and weeks that you really want to. But I love this. Successful people strategically say yes when new opportunities arise, and then they figure it out later. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to ask you to figure it out later. I'm going to give you a path how to figure it out right now. So let's jump in. Here it is. Opportunity is knocking. Now, I want you to know, I'm going to share some numbers with you that The reality is they're probably going to shock you. The amount of stimulus money that's hitting our communities, it is just insane. And I'll tell you how this started with me. One day I got to looking at my home county. And as I started running the numbers and got into this, I came up with this crazy number that I thought there's no way that's possible. And by the way, this old guy from Kentucky, math has never been my strength. But when I ran the numbers and I saw it, I thought, okay, what have I done wrong? So a good buddy of mine, also my accountant, I called him and I said, tell me where I'm screwing it up, because listen, I screw this up very, very often. And he said, no, your formula is accurate. And that's what led me to say, holy cow, which has kind of sent us together today. So let's start with Richland County. Richland County is going to be the smallest number that I'm going to show you today. So think about that. It's the smallest number. But I also want to use this as an example to tell you exactly how I'm arriving upon these numbers. Because if you're on the call today and I don't use your county as an example, you can go grab that yourself. And it's honestly, it's going to take you about 3 or 4 minutes to do it. And I'll give you my information at the end. If you want to know what this formula is, again, you reach out to me and I'll make sure you have it. So in Richland County, the community of Richland Center, there's 7,538 households. Now, in Richland County, there's a 2.26. Now, by the way, I'm not going to get this deep in the weeds on all of them, so hang with me. In Richland County, there's a 2.26 per person household average, meaning there's 2.26 people that lives on average in every household in Richland County. So if we take the 2.26 and we multiply it times the $1,400 stimulus, see, that's critical. It's not $1,400 per household. It's $1,400 per person in every household making less than $160,000 a year. So think about that. $1,400 per person in each household making less than $160,000 a year. And we'll come back and talk a little bit more about that. So the 2.26 times the 1,400 gives us $3,164 is the average stimulus check that will hit each household in Richland County. If you take the 3,164 and then we multiply it by the 7,538 in total households, we get 23,850,232. Now here's the final step on the process to get your accurate number. The federal government has said roughly 90% of the population is eligible. So if we take 90% of 23,850,000, we get over $21 million. It's $465,208 to be exact. Are you kidding me? Over $21 million coming into the pocketbooks of those living in Richland County. Now, here's what you got to know. This isn't counting small business loans. This isn't counting government assistance that's part of the $1.9 trillion. This is just cash hitting bank accounts across Richland County. Let's go further. Vilas County, 10,921 households will share over $27 million. Crazy amounts of money. Let's keep going. Door County, over 13,109. Well, by the way, Vilas County, WJFW TV, Heartland Communications, you've got to be salivating at the thought of getting your hands on some of this $27 million plus. Door County, over 13,000 households, over $34 million. Door County Radio Group, my great friends at New Radio, I know you're thinking right now, how do I go get it? And you got to go get it now. Let's look at Monroe County, almost 18,000 households. Look at this number, $56 million plus. Let me keep going. Marinette County, 18,473 households going to share $49 million. Let me go one more. Eau Claire, 40,981, because I'm looking at a point here I don't want you to miss, because you may be wondering what the heck. Eau Claire going to share $125 million plus. Now let's go back up to Monroe County. Monroe County, Magnum Media. You're thinking, holy cow, 56 million. Then Marinette County, Armada Media. You're thinking, wait a minute. Okay, we've got more households than Monroe County, but our number is lower. Okay, this is the point I want to make sure that I drove home with you. It all comes down to what that per person household average is. See, Monroe County, Magnum Media, your county is 2.51 per person average. Marinette County, it's 2.14. So see, even though Marinette County has more households, Monroe County's per person household average is higher, which drives their number up there. So Monroe County, 56 million. Magnum Media, go get it. Marinette County, Armada Media, go get the 49 million. And now Eau Claire, over $125 million. WEAU TV, Nexstar, Gray Television, Midwest Family, you've got to be thinking, okay, we got to get focused and make sure we get our share of this money. And I'm going to help you with that in just a little bit. Fond du Lac County, 41,542 households. You also have $125 million. And by the way, the interesting thing here is that actually Eau Claire's number is a little higher than Fond du Lac County because their per person average is a little higher than what Eau Claire's is a little higher than what Fond du Lac County's is. Let's keep going. Let's look at La Crosse County. Over 47,500 households, $141 million. Midwest Family Broadcasting, WXOW-TV, Magnum, Nexstar, there's $141 million that's being infused into your community right now. This is insane. How about this one? Marathon County, NRG Media, Albert Broadcasting, go get your share of $168 million. And now it gets crazy. This is where it just gets out of hand. Brown County, over 100,000 households, so we know the number is going to be higher. $319 million. Midwest Communication, Woodward Communications, Magnum Media. It's sitting there for you. You got to go get it. How are we going to get it? We're going to get your share by helping your clients get their share. And we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Now let's just blow this thing out right out the top. Waukesha County, 158,000 households plus, almost $500 million. Milwaukee, Waukesha County, that's a bunch of cash right there. WYMS, WISN TV, WLKG, this money is there and they're waiting to spend it. And I'm going to tell you in just a little bit how they're going to spend it. And finally, let's look at Dane County. Madison. Wow, $657 million going to be spread across 222,000 households. I want you to think about that for just a second. Well over $500 million. These are crazy, crazy numbers. Now, here's what no one's getting. People think $1,400, and they don't really get how much money is really coming into their communities. In my very hometown, I ran into a guy the other day. I've known him forever. He's one of the top Papa John's franchisees in the country. He's been incredibly successful. And we're talking and we got to talk about the stimulus. And I said, hey, how much do you think's coming into our home county? Now, remember, very successful. I mean, this guy's done well. His answer to me was this: oh gosh, I'd say at least 3 or 4 million. I said, how about 55 million? He didn't believe me. Right there on the street, I started showing him the formula, and he's like, oh my goodness. See, here's the thing. People don't realize, your competitors don't realize, and more importantly, I'll tell you this much, your clients don't realize. They have no idea the amount of money, and they're not prepared to take advantage of it. So now let me ask you, you've heard the old, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Well, right now, luck is an opportunity, and it's knocking. And how you answer will decide the level of success that you're going to have. And I'm going to challenge you on this just a little bit more here very briefly, but hang tight. Let's do this. Billions. If I went out and I surveyed the majority of people across America, I said, before any of this started, and I said, hey, tell me how many zeros are in a billion. You know, we would have had to really start thinking, and I would hope that I would have gotten 9, but I told you that my math's not great. Look at all the zeros, billions of dollars. Listen, it's multiple billions of dollars coming in to your state. How are you going to take advantage of it? So let me ask you this. So where will all this money be spent? So let me stop and pause here just for a second and be real with you. I know, and you know, that there are plenty of difficult situations out there. There are plenty of situations where this money is going to go to rent. It's going to go to house payments. It's going to go to utilities and car payments and groceries. We know all that. There's no question. But I will tell you, a lot of this money, it's going to be spent and put back into our economy because families are going to treat themselves. Think about what's been going on for the last year. There's a period of time that we were locked up. We're just now getting to the point where we're starting to get back out. We are hungry. There is pent up demand in our economy. There's pent up demand in us. We're ready to go and do and celebrate and live again. So my oldest daughter, she teaches elementary school, and she called me just last week, and she said, "Hey, Dad," they used to call me Daddy. They don't anymore. I'm just Dad. She said, "Hey, Dad, I got my stimulus check in the mail." She said, "You'll be proud of me." She said, "I put some of it in savings." But she said, "But you know what I did? I went out and I bought me a Nintendo Switch." See, her younger sister, who's 17, got a Nintendo Switch for Christmas. And the oldest and the youngest, they kind of have this, they like to play games. So she said, "Hey, I went out and got myself one as well." So she wanted me to know I was responsible. I put some back, and you need to know there are people who are going to put some of this back. They're going to put it in their savings account. They're going to put it in their checking account. By the way, there's going to be people that will open up new checking accounts as a result of this. So work with your bankers. There's an opportunity for new deposits, new accounts for them. There are going to be people that will invest it. So you need to be talking to the financial advisors in your community, because there will be those people that will take some of this money, which, by the way, I don't know if I've told you, this has nothing to do with the tax refunds that are going to hit also. So there are people out there that they're going, let's take a family of four. A family of four making less than $160,000. They're going to get $5,600. It's $1,400 times four. $5,600 plus they're probably going to get a tax refund check. So they're going to treat themselves. They're going to buy themselves things. Like my daughter, she was responsible with part of it, but she went out and she treated herself, and most will. So where will all this money be spent? Outside of what I just talked about, those necessities, those needy situations, I'll tell you where it's going to be spent. It's going to be spent where it's invited to be spent. And your job, hear me right now, don't forget this. Your job always, but especially now, is to extend the invitation on behalf of your clients to your listeners, your viewers, and your online readers. I want to say that again. Where's this money going to be spent? It's going to be spent where you tell it to be spent. And your job is to extend the invitation for your clients to your listeners, viewers, and online readers. They're going to spend it where you tell them to spend it. And so if we recognize that all the money's coming into our markets, if we recognize that you have the ability to direct some of this money, think about your power. Is there another industry that really can be the economic driver that you can? You're going to direct billions of dollars. So if that's the case, then how do you go about it? We're going to talk about that next. But before we do that, hey, let's have a little fun with something, can we? I think this is so cool. If you want to know how far this money goes, and I want to make sure I stay on track here, because we're going to be together roughly about 40 minutes. We'll open up for some Q&A. So here's how far some of this money will go. In just the Richland County dollars, we could buy almost $43,500 gas grills. You don't think there's going to be a lot of grills bought in the coming days and weeks because people have some money in the bank? They're going to go upgrade their grill. How about this one? Just the money coming into Madison and Dane County, you could buy over 13,000 $50,000 vehicles. You don't think we could buy out most lots in Dane County with that? People are going to use this money, and they're going to make down payments on cars. We have to recognize that. How about this one? You know, I mow about 4 acres in Kentucky, and a couple of years ago, my lawnmower bit the dust. So I went out and bought me a new zero turn, and I paid about $8,500 for it. Don't tell my wife. In just the Marinette County numbers, we could buy almost 6,000 zero turn lawnmowers. Listen, you need to be talking to Lawn and Garden, because the grass is greening up here. I hope it is there, and it will. If it's not, it will be soon, because there's going to be a lot of lawnmowers purchased in the coming days, weeks, and months with the stimulus checks that are hitting bank accounts now. Imagine this. Imagine that you walked out into one of your downtown areas, and there were planes flying over, and they were parachuting piles of cash down. You just look up, and there's just these big bundles. They're falling from the sky, and cash is hitting the ground. Can you imagine the frenzy? That's what's happening, y'all. We got to think about it that way. This money's being dropped from the sky, and it's going right into bank accounts in Eau Claire County. Just the money coming to Eau Claire. We could buy 19,303 average priced hot tubs. There will be some hot tubs purchased in the coming days, weeks, and months. How about this? Listen, I'm married with 3 daughters. I get that there's times we're going to go out and we're going to get some pedicures, and we're going to get some manicures. Even those who may need to put a lot of this money towards rent and utilities, they still desire to go out and get a pedicure. because we've been caged up. We're ready to get out. Hey, good weather's coming. We want our toes to look good, right? There's going to be a lot of pedicures purchased. Just with the Monroe County money, we could buy over 1 million pedicures. This is crazy money, y'all, but you have to recognize a lot of it's going to be spent on these type things. Let's keep going. In just Vilas County, and I love a good steak. We could buy over 500,000 ribeye steak dinners just with the money coming from Vilas County. Crazy, isn't it? And by the way, do you not think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go out and eat because they got the money? They're not only going to go out and eat, they're going to eat something just a little bit better. They're going to treat themselves. It's time. Let's celebrate. How about this? You could buy over 6,000 side-by-side four-wheelers just with the money coming from Fond du Lac County. Crazy. You don't think there's been people sitting here, they've just been waiting. They want to go buy one of these side-by-sides. They've been waiting for the money to hit, and this will be a down payment on one of those. Okay, full disclosure, I love a good glass of red wine. And Picket Fences is one of my favorite bottles. So just with the money coming from Marathon County, we could buy over 6 million bottles of my favorite wine. Do you not think that people are going to say, hey, let's celebrate, the money hit our bank account? They're going to go further than that. Spring's getting here, the weather's showing up. We can now get out. Schools are getting back in. So much good's going on. Let's toast it with a glass of wine, or maybe even the whole bottle. How about this? I know you got some good golf courses. You got some championship golf courses across Wisconsin. Just with the Milwaukee dollars, we could buy almost 200,000 sets of new ping golf clubs, sandwich all the way up to the driver. Yeah, I gotta know, there's going to be a lot of golf clubs purchased with stimulus money in the coming days, weeks, and months. It's going to happen. Well, you're finding out all of my bad habits, I guess. But yes, I enjoy a glass of wine. And you know what? I really love a good cigar. So there will be plenty of folks that will toast that stimulus money with that glass of wine and a good cigar. We could buy 1.3 million cigars just with the cash hitting Door County. And this one, I think it's my favorite. Think about this. Just with the money coming into Brown County, we could sell out Lambeau Field for a Packers game almost 31 times. So let me, just so you know that I know what I'm talking about. Lambeau holds almost 81,000 people with an average ticket price of almost $129. So that's $10.4 million in ticket revenue for every game at Lambeau Field. We could sell it out almost 31 times just with the money coming in to Brown County. So why am I showing you this? Honestly, I'm showing you this because I want you to understand this money it's a game changer. It's a game changer for the consumer. It can be a game changer for your clients. It can be a game changer for you. But here's what I worry about. And so let me tell you this right now. I'm going to say something to you that I'm qualified to say, and here's why. I'm not a sales trainer. I'm a salesperson just like you who also trains. Okay. And because I'm a salesperson like you, because I'm out there in the trenches every single day, and I'll give you an example in just a little bit, because I'm qualified to say this to you. Don't do what we usually do as salespeople. Because here's what happens sometimes. Opportunity knocks and we get all this noise in our head. And we start thinking, oh, that's not what I planned on doing right now. The complaining comes out, the griping comes out. Honestly, all of a sudden, we're thinking about all the negative. All of a sudden, we're thinking about all the reasons we can't do it because this isn't what we had planned. See, it challenges our pace. What I'm going to throw at you in just a little bit, it's going to challenge your tempo. It's going to challenge the way you do your business. But more than anything, it's going to challenge your comfort zone. But great opportunities can only be embraced when we approach it the right way. So get rid of the noise, okay? Get rid of the noise and be ready to chase this chance for you to make more money, help your clients make more money. So enough of that. So here's where we kind of get to the, okay, how are we going to do it? I told you earlier, we'll figure it out later. Well, I'm going to help you figure it out. I'm going to help you figure it out right now. So this is what I call the 82B plan. It's 8 steps to get your share of the billions, y'all, coming into just your state alone. So let's start here. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, it's urgency. This is my youngest daughter, and I know urgency. See, prom season is back on in Kentucky. Next month, it's going to be proms for all the schools. So thankful for these young people, they get their prom back. And I know there's going to be restrictions. But with prom season comes the need for a prom dress, right? Never mind that I've got two older daughters that we probably got a half dozen prom dresses hanging in the closet. No, we had to get another one. So what we found out a couple of weeks ago, a prom dress store about an hour from our house just got in this big shipment of dresses. So guess what did we have to do? We shoved everything to the side. Nothing was more important than getting to that store before everyone else went through all the dresses. See, we created an incredible amount of urgency. Now here's the reality. That's the dress we bought. As a dad, and I know all the dads out there can appreciate this, I was hoping for a little more fabric, but they told me we got a good deal, so I'll trust them on that. But we created urgency, and you have to create urgency for this effort. Next, you got to make it a priority. This cannot be just something else that you do. This cannot be something that you try to fit into your already busy day. And I don't know that there's any people out there that talk about how busy they are anymore than salespeople. And we are busy, but you got to create the urgency, and you've got to make this a priority. And from there, you've got to narrow your focus. Because sometimes what we do is we just stink at a lot of different things. I know I'm not talking about you all, I'm just talking about myself. But sometimes we're doing so many different things that we're no good at any of it. You have to narrow your focus. Imagine for a second, if I put us all in a one big room. So with your summer conference coming late August, let's imagine we all got in a big room together, and I turned off the lights, and then I wrote on a dry erase board, incredible opportunity. And then I went to the back of the room and I struck a match. And that match will put out some light, but it won't be enough light to read what I wrote on the board. I could even turn on a lamp in the back of the room. It still won't create enough light for you to read what I wrote. But if I took a spotlight and I shined it right on those words, incredible opportunity, that focused light, it would illuminate it such that the majority of the room would probably be able to read that I wrote incredible opportunity. See, it's focused light, it's focused vision. And right now you've got to narrow your focus down to only one thing. And it's right now running hard with this effort and this opportunity. From there, and listen, I was with you a few years ago. Certainly you've been involved in several virtual events over the course of the last year. You'll always hear me talk about a plan. I try not to repeat, but I will always remind you that a plan is important every single day. The plan you show up with, or lack thereof, in many cases will determine your success. You have to have a plan now. You got to know how you're going to charge, because I'm getting ready to challenge you with something that you're going to think, oh my goodness, this guy's crazy. And you're right, I am crazy, but I also understand an opportunity when I see it. So you got to have a plan. So we're creating urgency. We're making it a priority. We're narrowing our focus, and then we're making a plan. And from there, we're going to see the people. We're going to see the people, and we're going to see them with great energy. Pet peeve of mine. Our industry at times has become riddled with lukewarm people. We're just, we don't get too excited. Then we wonder why our clients don't get excited. Right now, today, you've got to approach this with great energy. You've got to see your clients with great energy. They got to feel it from you. If they don't feel that you believe in this and believe in this opportunity, you're going to fall flat. So you got to see the people. You got to do it with great energy, enthusiasm, and effort. And the next one, number 6, as you'll see, it's also see the people. But as you see the people, you have to engage them with focused questions. Now, full disclosure, I do not think this is a time that you need to be out there trying to do full-blown CNAs with your clients, okay? There's a time and a place for that. Today, this is about how many people can we get to with this message and how quickly. So I want you to engage them with focused questions. And I'm going to offer you 3 here, and I'll give you a couple more in just a little bit. What's different about your business today than a year ago? Think about that. Your business has changed. Clearly, so is mine. 1 year ago, I had no idea that I would stand in my living room as often as I do in front of this fireplace and speak to as many people as I have. We've learned how to do things differently, and we are, and so have your clients. And if you haven't asked them, you haven't given them the opportunity to tell you what's different, so then you can then tell your listeners, viewers, and online readers, ask that question. From there, what's the one thing you want everyone to know about your business today? Not even yesterday or a month or a year ago, because it's all changed. It's changing every day. What's the one thing you want everyone to know about your business today? And then from there, you got to ask this. So can I help tell your story? If we recognize, now you know how much money is coming into our community, to our region, to our market. The only way you can take advantage of it is if you let me help tell your story. Can I help you? That's number 6. Number 7, and I will tell you, this is one that in our jobs in our life, we fail at often. We do things occasionally, not consistently. This effort requires that you give maximum effort consistently, not just occasionally, because we're all kind of in the same place here as salespeople. I can say this to you and you'll get me. Here's what happens sometimes. Your sales manager will roll in with a big effort and then you will embrace it. You will charge out and you'll have one big day. I mean, you'll work hard and you get out there and you stir the pot. Woo, but the next day you're worn out. I can't ever do that 2 days in a row. You have to, okay? It's what you do consistently over occasionally that determines your level of success. Honestly, it's not just this effort, it's every single day. Do it consistently, not just occasionally. And finally, this is number 8 of 8. You got to get out there and you got to ask. You got to ask, you got to ask, you got to ask. Do not stop asking. Think about it this way. If you go out there and you ask for appointments and you ask the questions, you ask for the business, it's going to put you in a position to engage them, to find out more. You're going to find out more than your competition. I got a phone call. I did this, it's been a week ago Friday now for a group in New Mexico. And I had a young lady, been doing this for a bit. She called me and she said, hey, I found a question that's really working for me. And I said, well, share it. And she told me, and I said, do you care if I share it? She said, no, I do. So I'm going to give it to you. She started asking this question and I love it. What would your budget be if you had a chance at millions more in revenue? What would your budget be if you had a chance at millions more in revenue? Okay, how great a question is that? I was having a conversation with my buddy, and I know yours, Chris Lytle. Isn't he the best? He's paved such a path for the rest of us over the years. Chris kind of changed the question a little bit for me. He said, how about this one? Are you adjusting your ad budget for the additional stimulus money? It's why he's the king. When I heard it, I thought, what a genius question. So I want to share it with you. Are you adjusting your ad budget for the additional stimulus money? These are questions you need to be asking. And then from there, you've got to encourage them and really talk to them about really driving this shop local effort home. See, I think it's okay. And sometimes I'm not the most subtle person in the world, so I like to charge right ahead. So let's just tell them, hey, we know these stimulus checks are hitting your bank accounts. Give us the opportunity. Do business with us. And just say, hey, a lot of these big box stores, hey, they're doing fine, but we need your support. If it's not me, shop with someone else right here in our hometown. You've got to keep asking. Now this one, as we really approach the close today, and I say it's go time, think about this. When you focus on problems, you'll have more problems. Salespeople, we are the best in the world of finding the problem. We're the best in the world at figuring out why this won't work. We're the best in the world of figuring out why in the world we can't pull this off. See, here's what I want you to do. I want you to focus more on the possibilities today than the problems. Because when you focus on possibilities, and I will tell you they're endless right now, you'll have more opportunities. Focus on the problem, focus on the possibilities and not on the problem. So let me head off one problem. And this is problem. And by the way, if you've got questions for us, make sure to put them in the chat, or when we get to the end, I'm just going to open it up and you can fire questions at me. But let me identify right now what one problem that some of you are thinking, and I want to head it off. And it's a real one. It's a real one. And it's the supply issue. It's the fact that there are clients out there who can't get everything in right now that they want. You can let this be a problem, or you can turn it into a possibility. The problem arises when you don't know what to say. So see, I still handle some business here in my hometown and have for years. And I had a furniture store that I've been working with for several years call me, and he said, hey brother. I said, what's up, Tim? He said, think I need to pull for a while. He said, I just don't have all the inventory that I want. And I got some people showing up and I can't offer them everything that they need. And I said, no, I get it. I totally understand your position, but I got to ask, man, are you planning on being in business a year from now? And he's like, yes, dude, you know the answer to that. I said, yeah, well, me too. What about 5 years from now? And he's like, come on. I said, I know, stupid question. But if you want to be in business a year from now, 5 years from now, this supply issue will resolve itself. and you're going to get back to getting everything that you need. I said, so let's don't stop now. I said, think about this. I said, tell me what you've got on your showroom right now that you've got plenty of. And at this particular time, he had 32 recliners. And I said, then let's try to sell 32 recliners. Let's create a supply issue with you on your recliners. And he said, okay, I'm starting to hear you. Keep going. And I said, finally, here's my last point. And this is one that I think is important for you, that you're sharing with these clients. They're saying they're having supply issues. What's a customer worth? Or better yet, what's the loss really add up to if they go somewhere else? See, every business still has things to sell. They may just not have everything they want. If they go dark with you, if they don't advertise, if they forfeit the right to talk to your listeners, viewers, and online readers, if they forfeit that right, that customer is going to go somewhere else. Okay. And once they go somewhere else, they lose the right to do business. See, my wife and I wanted to upgrade our patio furniture on our screening porch. We walked into a local business, and you know what they told us? Oh man, I wish, but we just sold out of that the other day. We're going to get some more in. We just don't know when. So I said, could you let me know when they come in? He said, I'll let you know, but that doesn't mean we won't sell them quickly. And I said, could I pay you for it now? He said, yeah, you can do that. He said, and you'll be the first one to receive that furniture when they come in. So you know what we did? My wife and I, we've already paid it. Now, full disclosure, that new furniture is not sitting on my screening porch right now. But you know what I know? I'm going to get the first set that comes in. And he didn't lose me as a customer, because if he'd have said, no, we can't do that, we would have gone somewhere else and we would have done a transaction somewhere. So focus on the possibilities, focus on the conversations you can have to continue this. Don't just let it stop with, we're having supply issues, because that's a problem that will arise. So here's what I call the coordinates for your success. And I'm going to tell you, and we're getting close to wrapping this up. This will challenge you. It will challenge your activity, and it will challenge how you do business. I want you to embrace seeing 100 to 150 clients in the next 10 days. I know. Here's what I bet you're saying. I don't have 100 or 150 clients on my list. And I know many of you don't. And honestly, you don't need that many accounts. But I want you to talk to your existing clients. And I want you to get on a mission to call on new business, every new business you can, and have this conversation with them now. I'm challenging you to see 10 to 15 new accounts per day for the next 10 days. Give me 10 days. Stick with it. Do it consistently over occasionally. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that if you will focus on this type of activity, that it won't create possibilities and opportunities for you that you didn't have before this webinar today. Many of you are watching this in a room together. We got sales staffs who are together right now. And I want you to look around. I want you to make eye contact with each other. I know, crazy, right? Because some of you in the room and many of you on this call, this webinar is A, getting you excited, and B, making you uncomfortable, because this isn't what you had planned right now. It isn't what you had planned. And you were looking to be focused on something else. So opportunity is knocking. And you cannot be the one who says, can somebody get that? Okay. Your competition who didn't show up today, or who are sitting in another room somewhere saying, can somebody get that? You got to be the one that answers the door. Don't just peek through it, look through a crack at it. I want you to sling the door open, y'all. Sling the door open, wrap your arms around opportunity, give opportunity a high five, and then I want you to run off together, because this opportunity will not come along in any of our careers again, in my humble opinion. So this looks like shameless self-promotion. It's only there because I want you to see what's bottom left. It's my email address and it's my cell phone number. You got questions, you email me. All right. If you call that number, one of two things will happen. I will either answer or I will call you back. And finally, I'm going to end here, and you're going to think, what? I know, but I want you to be the pelican. Today, I'm sitting here saying, I'm going to wrap this up and we'll open up the questions. I want you to be the pelican. And here's what I mean. I've shared with some of you a story before about an old man sitting on a bucket flipped upside down, fishing on a pier, and everybody else thought he was catching more fish than them. If you hadn't heard it, I'll tell it to you sometime. This is the same pier. My wife and I were in Florida back in mid-February. We went seeking some sunshine, and it was wonderful. And I was walking down the beach. I walked down this very pier, and there were pelicans around, and I got to watching them. If you've never paid attention to a pelican, we can learn a lot. Pelicans will wings out and they will just glide right across along the surface of the water. But when it's time to eat, when they're hungry, they rise up, baby. They fly up higher above the water and they will just kind of glide and they will look. And when they see the bait fish, when they see the food, when they see what they're after, here's what happens. They'll drop the beak, they'll close the wings, and they go full force into the water. I mean, wide open. They crash into the water with all the speed and the velocity that they can muster. But they get what they're after. They get what they're after, and then they rise up again, and they do the same thing over and over and over again because they go after what they want. Here's how we do it sometimes. We want to flutter down softly and get down to the edge of the water and then try to pluck out what we want. You do know that's not the way this works, right? You do know we don't get what we need and want in life. We don't achieve our goals when we approach it safely. This opportunity is a time that you need to be bold and you need to charge hard. And you need to see those 100 to 150 people, clients, not email, not phone calls, see them in the next 10 days. So when you get up every morning and you look in that mirror for the next 10 days, I need you to remember me and I need you to go be the pelican. Go be the pelican. So now I'm going to stop the share where I can see more of you. Kyle, I'll open up to you if we've got any questions. For those of you who are out there, just unmute it, ask a question, and we'll see if we can address it. Come on. All right. Nothing?
Okay, there we go. I got something. I just
Stacey?
thank you very much, Derron. And basically, when we think about everything, if everything was an opportunity, you know, what would we do? What would we do? So I think we want to go there. We want to remember that. And as life moves on, each single one presents itself in every single situation. And it's great that you point this out. I'm going to use this at my first meeting because I just started. I've been in, you know, other businesses, but anyway, all good, really great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. No, Stacey, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that. And the opportunity is there. Think about it this way. This isn't just about cash to you and revenue for your clients. This is about your credibility. And if you're the one in your communities, in your market, engaging your clients with this conversation, you're going to be different because I will promise you, you feel free, you call 270-646-7279 and tell me if I'm wrong. But if you talk to any client that's fully aware of how much money this is, let me know. I've now done this for several states, and that phone's not rang yet with someone telling me, you know, I just left a client and they said that they knew exactly how much money was coming to the community. No one's aware, y'all. So you be the expert. You let them know. How do you find the total stimulus in each county? Great question. Here's what you can do. This is actually really simple. So let me do this. If we just look at Monroe County, if you Google Monroe County, Wisconsin households, when you Google it, Monroe County, or take your county, whatever your county is, if you're in front of your computer, do it right now. Google your county, Wisconsin households. You'll see a U.S. Census Facts tab that will come up. You click on that tab and it will give you more information than you ever dreamed you could find about your county. Go 2/3 of the way down and you'll see where it says households. And it will then give, so Monroe County, it told me you had 17,915 households. Just underneath that number, you'll see where it says 2.51. And I'll remind you, that's the per person household average. You multiply the 2.51 times the $1,400 stimulus, meaning stimulus check for each person in the household. So 1,400 times 2.51, and that's going to give you the average stimulus check in that county or your county. In this instance, for Monroe County, it's $3,514. We're then going to take the 3,514 and multiply it back towards the 17,915 households, and it will give you the full number. And then we're going to take that number and we're going to multiply it times 0.90. That will then give us our final number of $56,657,979. It literally does not take literally does not take long for you to do the research on your own. And so if you get in a situation where your client says, I don't think that's possible, you say, hey, let me show you. Now you can see with me, I've done this enough. I've rattled off so many numbers, and I've seen some crazy, crazy dollars going into cities across the country. But here's what I've also seen that I think is probably the most impactful. You take a county that has 3,500 households. So it's a small community. They're still getting $10 million. Think about that. A community, and I don't remember the county. If I quote it, I would get it wrong. It wasn't one of yours. They had 3,500 households. They're getting $10 million. Do you not think $10 million to spend in that community will make an impact? And if they're going to spend it where we tell them to, then how do we approach this? Kyle, have I missed any?
No. Someone asked if the total Milwaukee County was shared. I don't know if you had that number or not, but
Milwaukee County was that was Waukesha. That was
we had Waukesha.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we had Milwaukee, but as you just pointed out, you can do the math and sort that out.
Okay, I guess so. There is a Milwaukee County.
Yes, there is a Milwaukee County. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Google Milwaukee County, Wisconsin households. Go to the U.S. Census tab. It'll give you everything you need. Any other questions? Thoughts? Okay, so here's what I would suggest. I've thrown a lot of numbers at you. Don't be overwhelmed with all these numbers. Just know your county. And if you want your market, here's what you can do. The way it started with me, I did my home county and I did every county that touched my home county. Okay. So if you can do your market the same way, I think there's any market in the country, you could spend an hour or less and have all this information. What I didn't realize, once I did my county and all the counties touching my county, it was almost $400 million. And that's in rural Kentucky, y'all. This is crazy. This is crazy. Michelle?
That was great, Derron. And I'll tell you, you had me at ribeyes, wine, and pedicures. So
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And of course the Packers. So no. Anyway, absolutely terrific information. Wow. Thank you so much as always. And you know what? We can't wait to see you on the beach in August at Blue Harbor.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to be with you all. When we all gather in Sheboygan, then we'll know, you know what? We're back and we can gather. And I promise you, you don't want to miss this convention because nothing you've ever heard me share. I'll remind you of a few things, but I don't repeat. I got some good stuff for you and you don't want to miss it. I can't wait to be with you. Michelle, Kyle, thank you so much.
That was great. Thanks so much, Derron. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Enjoy the sun. Don't blow away.
Swagger on, y'all.